RU Executive Transport, a transportation company ready to change the transportation narrative in Taraba State and Nigeria at large, bringing comfort, safety and reliability. Witness their impact on the people, the economy, and Nigeria's transportation future.
RU Executive Transport Company was actually incorporated sometime in 2024, and the decision to establish the company was actually born out of a burden for travelers.
Welcome to the broadcast of news at 9 p.m. on Psalm TV, the pulse of the nation. You can also follow us on Facebook at Psalm TV and on YouTube at Psalm TV Live. Now the major headlines. On the national news, Presidency dismissed fake news on INEC chairman's dismissal. Confirmed Mahmoud Yakubu remains in office. The Taraba State Ministry of Environment trains community business agencies to combat climate change. Take It Back movement protests nationwide despite police warnings. Government calls for peaceful demonstrations. In international news, thousands of protesters across U.S. and international cities demand change. Largest demonstrations against Trump since his return to office. In business news, Deep AI has raised $40 billion to bolster its research into artificial general intelligence, further solidifying its position in the rapidly evolving AI sector. In entertainment news, a movie titled Radio Voice premieres in Lagos, celebrates Nigerian radio legacy with emotions receptions. In sport news, Kebbi State revives sports tournaments to enhance youth engagement and community cohesion. My name is Bridget James, and now the news in full. The presidency has refuted claims that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has dismissed the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Mahmoud Yakubu, following reports circulating online. The rumor suggested that Yakubu was replaced by Bashiru Olamide, but the presidency quickly dismissed this as fake news. Ortega Agra, senior special advisor to the president on digital and new media, issued a statement urging the public to disregard the false reports. He emphasized that any official's announcement about changes in INEC's leadership will come through the office of the Secretary to the government of the Federation or other authorized government channels. The inaccurate report, which had gained attention on social media, has sparked speculations about leadership changes within the Nigerian electoral body. However, the presidency confirmed that no such changes had taken place and that Yakubu continues in his role. The statement also reiterated the importance of media outlets adhering to factual reporting standards and combating the spread of unverified information. The Taraba State Ministry of Environment and Climate Change has successfully conducted a 4-day refresher training for community business agencies under the agroclimatic resilience in semi-arid landscape, aimed at enhancing their ability to develop business plans that foster economic growth and resilience to climate change in the state's semi-arid communities. Psalm TV correspondent Teresa Ayuba has the details.
The Taraba State Ministry of Environment and Climate Change has successfully hosted a 4-day refresher training for Community Business Agency (CBA) of the 15 CRF pilot communities under the Agroclimatic Resilience in Semi-Arid Landscape (ACRISEL). The training aimed at equipping participants with skills in developing and implementing business and investment plans. Was held in collaboration with the Ministries of Agriculture and Water Resources. The event served as a key platform for empowering CBA to drive economic growth and sustainability in the respective communities while enhancing their resilience to climate change. Delivering a welcome address on behalf of Dr. Abukefers, Dr. Clement Giwa commended the governor for his continuous support of the project. He also thanked the Honorable Commissioner from the Ministry of Land for partnering with the Ministry of Climate Change to facilitate the training. Dr. Giwa expressed his confidence in the participants' ability to apply the knowledge gained.
And I know that whatever you're going to gain here will be passed down to the CIGs. You're here so that members of my team can equip you with adequate knowledge to developing a well-structured business plan. That I believe the knowledge gained here will not go astray, because you are going to be catalysts and agents of change that will enhance climate resilience in Taraba State. On this note, I'm not going to say much, rather than appreciating all of you for being here. Take whatever message we're going to give, equip yourself properly, and on this note, I am declaring this training formally open. Thank you.
Environmental Sustainability Officer ESO for the ACRISEL project spoke about the broader impact of the initiative. He emphasized its role in promoting sustainable landscape management practice across 19 northern states and the Federal Capital Territory, FCT.
Starting with the ACRISEL project development objectives. The overall objectives of ACRISEL is to increase the implementation of sustainable landscape management practice across 19 northern states and the FCT. This concept has been put together by the federal government of Nigeria in collaboration with the World Bank to address some of the environmental challenges bedeviling northern Nigeria. Why ACRISEL is calling each and every person to join hands together to make sure that we restore the degraded environment, we bring food on the table, we take care of the vulnerable people in the communities, we carry everybody along to make sure that we live a very long life.
The training marks a significant milestone in the implementation of the ACRISEL project in Taraba State. The skills and knowledge impacted are expected to empower CBA to promote economic growth, improve livelihood, and strengthen resilience to climate change in their communities. Teresa Ayuba reporting for Psalm TV.
Holding in Jalingo the Rule of Law and Empowerment Initiative, in partnership with Partners West Africa Nigeria and supported by the March Arthur Foundation, is currently holding a close-by-close review of the Penal Code Law of Taraba State. The program, titled A Review of the Penal Code Law of Taraba State, runs from Monday, April 7 to Friday, April 11, 2025. This important event represents a new phase in criminal justice reform within the state. This course will focus on various provision of the 1960 Penal Code Law, with key criminal justice acts analyzing outdated provisions that no longer meet current realities. The review aims to address contemporary challenges such as cybercrime, kidnapping, banditry, and gender-related violence. Key participants include the Chief Judge of Taraba State, represented by Justice Nuhu Ali, the Honorable Attorney General and Commissioner of Justice, Mr. Yakubu Maikasua San, the Chairman of the Justice Law Reform Committee, Honorable Justice Dauda N. Buba, the Director of Public Prosecutions, Mr. Abubakar Dahiru Mustafa, Deputy Controller of the Nigerian Correctional Service, Mr. Amos Sani, Special Advisor to the Governor on Legal Matters, Mr. Sani Mark, and members of FIDA, among other stakeholders in the criminal justice system. Stay tuned to watch a video clip featuring a response from one of the participants as filed in by Som TV correspondent Moses Peter.
My name is Karkaji Dang Adi. I'm a private legal practitioner, and I joined a team of lawyers, judges across Taraba State and stakeholders in our justice system to attend this workshop on the review of the Penal Court law of Taraba State. And this workshop is going to span throughout the week from this 7th day of April 2025 to the 11th day of April 2025. The essence of this review is to give our law the basic background that it is required in compliance with the modern age, and to ensure that all the archaic provisions of our laws are taken care of. And this law has a lot of impact to both the people and the government of Taraba State, in as the law is corrected or reviewed, and if all the areas that are removed are so removed, and then the remaining part of which will be the penal court law that will be used in Taraba State, if put in place, it will help both the courts and the people of Taraba State, that when you are facing a trial, particularly a criminal trial, you will not have anything to be afraid thereof, as the law will be very clear, and the stakeholders in the justice system will also have a clear law that will enable them to dispense with justice in Taraba State.
Young protesters from the Take It Back movement defied police warnings and staged rallies across various states, including Lagos, Oyo, and Rivers, on Monday, April 7, 2025. The protesters, wearing their signature orange berets, began their demonstrations in Lagos at Ikeja on the bridge, marching through major roads while chanting solidarity songs on the police watch. In a related development, the federal government has expressed support for citizens' right to protest, acknowledging the importance of free expressions, particularly for young people. However, the government has issued a stern warning against the destructions of national infrastructure during protests, urging that demonstrations remain peaceful. Minister of Youth Development, Comrade Ayodele Olawande, emphasized that while the government recognizes the validity of the issues raised by protesters, it is essential that protests do not escalate into violence or damage public property. Meanwhile, the police dispersed protesters in both Abuja and Rivers State using tear gas. In Abuja, demonstrators carried placards calling for an end to repression, while in Port Harcourt, protesters voiced their concern over national issues, including the alleged misuse of the cyber crime and the worsening economic situation. The protests were part of a nationwide movement led by the Take It Back movement and civil society organizations. Despite attempts by the police to break up the protest, many demonstrators remain determined to make their voices heard. Over 20 Nigerian state governors, including those of Imo, Kaduna, and Borno, are under criticism for failing to implement the new 70,000 naira minimum wage for local government workers and primary school teachers. despite it being signed into law by President Bola Tinubu in July 2024. While some states have complied, many have only extended the new wages to state civil servants, including local government staff and teachers. Excluding the local government staffs and teachers, the Nigerian Union of Local Government Employees, NULGE, expressed concern over broken promises and urged full implementations in Kwara and Sokoto. Though the new wage is being paid, heavy taxations and delayed payments have reduced its impact. Some teachers in states like Zamfara and Taraba have not even received the 2019 30,000 naira minimum wage. In the FCT, public primary school teachers have gone on repeat strike over non-payment, disrupting academic activities. They are demanding immediate payment of the new wage, arrears, and additional allowance. Another report from Taraba State has it that Dr. Agbo Kaifas, governor of Taraba State, has been formally installed as the Grand Patron of the Boys Brigade, Nigeria. Taraba State Council. The investiture ceremony was held on Sunday, April 6, 2025, at the Great Gospel House in Jalingo. The event, conducted by the national president of the Boys Brigade, Professor Samson Duna, included the governor's decorations and presentation of the organizational colors. Dr. Kaifas received an award in recognition of his contribution to the state and the country. In his address, he expressed gratitude for the honor, describing it as a call to service. He emphasized the values of discipline, mentorship, and faith, and pledged continued support for the organizations. The ceremony also marked the opening of the 2025 Boys Brigade Week, chaired by Right Honorable Mark Usaini, member representing Takum, Usa, and Dongo federal constituencies. Usaini praised the governor's exemplary life as reflecting the brigade's deal. Dignitaries, including senior Boys Brigade officers from across the Northeast, attended and made monetary donations to support the council, reflecting on his personal journey in the Boys Brigade under his late father's guidance. Governor Kaifas promised to strengthen the organization's vision and role in youth development. He also delivered a sermon titled The Merciful and Overruling God, urging leaders and believers to stay focused on their responsibilities and trust in God's redemptive power. Still from Taraba State, the Agricultural Extension Society of Nigeria has successfully hosted its 30th annual conference at Taraba State University, Jalingo, bringing together agricultural experts, government officials, and stakeholders to discuss critical issues surrounding agricultural extension, food security, and sustainable practices amidst growing challenges like climate change and inflation. Sun TV correspondent Lillian Yakubu has the details.
Agricultural Extension Society of Nigeria has successfully hosted its 30th annual conference at Taraba State University, Jalingo. The high-level gathering brought together agricultural experts, government officials, policy makers, scholars, and development partners under the theme Agricultural Extension Policy, Practices, and National Food Security. The event serves as a strategic platform for rethinking Nigerians' approach to food production through enhanced extension services, especially amid the challenge posed by climate change, inflation, insecurity, and the withdrawal of fuel subsidies. Delivering the keynote address, Deputy Governor of Adamawa State, Professor Kaletabwa George Farauta, highlighted the urgent need for stronger synergy between research institutions, extension agents, and grassroots farmers in driving food sufficiency across Africa. Professor Farauta called for inclusive agricultural policies that prioritize the smallholders farmers who constitute over 70% of the continent's food producers. She emphasized that without meaningful investment in extension services, research outcomes will remain locked away in academic shelves while rural farmers continue to face low productivity.
In this season or in this generation of removal of fuel subsidy, food security should be important to us, because even though fuel subsidy has been removed, but our populations are growing daily. And because our populations are growing, it means there are more mouths to feed, and if you don't feed those mouths, they become restless and become security issues for us. The next reason why food security issues are important for us is because it brings economic stability. When someone is well fed, he can go out and market and bring in and improve the economy of his environment. Of course, another reason why we must be discussing food security is because of climate change and conflict in the generation where we're living. I'm an indigenous of a riverine area. Our villages lie along the Benue and Gongola Valley. And when it is time for rain and flood, a lot of my brothers and sisters have to leave their villages and come upland because the river will wash everything. But today, I've grown old in that environment and I've seen pockets of sand inside that same river to the level that the water it used to contain before, if it was 10 buckets, now it can contain only 2 buckets because sand has filled up, siltation has taken place. And climate change is real. Last year I planted guinea corn. Ruben, please listen to this. Last year I planted, not guinea corn, granite. The granite had flowered. NIMET announced that there was going to be a cessation of rain for about 20 or 21 days in Yola, I don't know, Jalingo. It was the same. Rain stopped for 3 weeks. All the flowers on top of the granite that was going to now develop into pods, all the flowers dropped. After about 3 to 4 weeks, rain came, a heavy rain came, a heavy rain came. But the granite had reached a level of, even if you soak them inside the ocean, they will not make a difference. And that was how they didn't make a difference. So climate change is real. And because climate change is real, if you don't talk about food security, you might not be able to produce food in this changing climate that will feed this growing population. So we must be talking about food security because of climate change. Of course, the next thing is that food security helps to reduce poverty and improve the nutrition.
University dons such as Professor Ahmad Sani and other dignitaries lauded AESON for convening the timely conference and urged policy makers to translate discussion into concrete action plans. The event closed with a strong resolution to institutionalize reform in agricultural extension, integrate cutting-edge technologies, and reorient agricultural education in universities to be more field practical and innovation-driven. Lilian Yakubu reporting for Some TV.
The Arise Women of Impact Gala held on March 31st, 2025 at the Accor Hotel in Lagos celebrated 8 years tribalizing women for their achievements across various sectors. The event featured notable figures, including former President Goodluck Jonathan, who received the This Day Lifetime Achievement Award, Awards were also presented to outstanding women in business, finance, energy, politics, and other fields, with presentations made by prominent individuals such as Otedo Peter Sites, Tunde Falawiyo, and Fola Adiola. Senator Oluremi Tinubu, Nigerian's First Lady, was honored through a representative, while other recipients included Mrs. Catherine Uju Ifejika of Britannia U Nigeria Limited, Chief Mrs. Folashade Okoye of Eleganza Industrial City, and Senator Natasha Akpoti Dohan. The ceremony highlighted the impactful contributions of women to Nigerians' development and was attended by government officials, business leaders, and dignitaries from across the country. The Nigerian police force has withdrawn its invitations to the Emir of Kano, Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, regarding recent unrest during the March 30th Eid el-Kabir celebrations in Kano State. Instead, operatives from the force intelligence departments have been directed to obtain the monarch's statements in Kano, following advice from key stakeholders and to prevent the politicizations of police actions. According to the force public relations officer, ACP Olumuyiwa Adejabi, the invitation was initially meant to gather Sanusi's accounts of events that led to violence during the Salah festivities. Prior intelligence had indicated plans by the two functional emirs, Sanusi and Ado Bayero, to host separate Doba festivals, prompting the Inspector General of Police to deploy a senior officer to mediate. An agreement was reached for the emir to ride on horseback or conduct Duba activities during the celebrations. Despite this, Sanusi reportedly mounted a horse after 8 prayers, flanked by local vigilantes, an action that sparked violent reactions from youths in the area, resulting in the death of one Usman Sagiru and injuries to several others. The police affirms their commitment to impartial investigations, stating that arrests have been made and all culpable parties will face justice in line with professional standards and the rule of law. The governor of Enugu State, Dr. Peter Mba, is set to lead a state governors roundtable on investment opportunities in Enugu and Lagos State at the 2025 Commonwealth Trade and Investment Summit, opening today in London. The event, taking place at the historic Mansion House, is organized by the Commonwealth Enterprise and Investment Council and will run until Tuesday, April 8th. The summit aims to strengthen business to government relations across Commonwealth's 56 member states. It will feature high-level plenary sections, roundtable discussions, networking opportunities, and one-on-one meetings, with over 400 delegates from more than 40 countries in attendance. Governor Mba will lead discussions alongside representatives from leading financial and investment institutions, including Accra Capital, African Exim Bank, British International Investments, Crown Agents Bank, KPMG, M&G Investments, and Standard Chartered. The forum offers an avenue to showcase Enugu's investment potential to the international business community. Notable participants at CTIS include Honorable Lee Jinjiang at Kenya, Nigerian's Minister of Industry, Trade and Investments, Dr. Jumoke Oduwale, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State, and Lord Mayor of the City of London, Alistair King. Others are leaders from Gibraltar, JC, an executive from prominent organizations like Lloyds, Arab, Equity Bank Kenya, and the European Bank for Reconstructions and Development. Zenith Bank is serving as the summit's anchor partner, with the government of Cameroon providing additional support. Key discussions will center on reducing trade barriers, boosting investments in emerging markets, the role of artificial intelligence, and the global energy transition. The event built on a strategic partnership agreement signed in December 2024 between the Enugu State Government and CWEIC, aimed at accelerating trade and investment flows into the state. CWEIC CEO Rosie Glazebrook had then expressed strong commitment to supporting Governor Mbah's economic development agenda. The Arewa Consultative Forum, Christian Association of Nigeria, and Arewa Youth Consultative Forum has condemned the recent killings in Plateau State, calling for urgent government actions, including declaring a state of security emergency and improving intelligence efforts. They emphasized the need for peace, unity, and community involvement in resolving conflict. The National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, stated that security improvements have led to a 90% reduction in violence. Meanwhile, the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, reported 52 deaths and over 1,820 displaced persons due to the attack, and has begun delivering humanitarian aid to affected communities. Suspected Boko Haram insurgents launched an attack on Izwe village in the Goza local government area of Borno State on Sunday afternoon, resulting in the death of a captain and corporal, although the insurgents suffered heavy casualties. The exact number of losses on both sides is still unconfirmed, according to the local government chairman, Honorable Abba Kanu Idrisa Timta. A significant number of terrorists were killed in the clash. The incident highlights ongoing insecurity in the state. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited has secured a significant export deal set to ship its first crude cargo this month, scheduled for loading on April 9th or 10th. The cargo would be transported on the Delta tankers, 164,000 DWT, a Greek-owned tanker. The deal, concluded in March, marked a milestone for NNPC, with the crude being sold on an ex-ship basis, where NNPC takes responsibility for shipping and insurance. The cargo is set to discharge at various European ports. This achievement builds on NNPC's previous NLG shipments to Japan and China and supports its strategic vision to become a reliable global energy supplier. Additionally, NNPC is collaborating with Stena Bulk in Sweden to form a joint venture aimed at expanding its fleet of tankers and gas carriers for West African markets. Ekiti State Governor Biodun Oyebanji has expressed gratitude to the State National Assembly members for their support in securing funds for the payment of salaries for new doctors and health workers in the state. The move is part of the governor's effort to enhance healthcare delivery following the renovations and equipping of 11 secondary health facilities. During a recent inspection of ongoing projects, Oyebanji revealed that while significant investments were made in the renovations of health facilities, additional funding was required to employ the necessary medical professionals. The collaborations with the National Assembly members has allowed the state to move forward with recruiting these essential workers. The VAT toll from cerebrospinal meningitis in Nigeria has risen to 156, up from 77, with 188 across 23 states and 121 local government areas. According to the latest data from the Nigerian Center for Disease Control and Prevention, 126 confirmed cases have been recorded, with a national case fatality rate of 8.4%. The state most affected includes Kebbi, Sokoto, Katsina, and Jigawa as of March 23, 2025. There have been 1,826 suspected cases, with 1,501 deaths mainly reported from Kebbi, Katsina, Jigawa, and Sokoto. The disease has primarily affected children between the age of 5 and 14. The NCDC has warned of inadequate trained personnel and a lack of essential commodities in some states, which is hindering effective case management. Meningitis is serious infections of meninges caused by various pathogens, with meningococcus being the most prevalent. The disease is particularly common in Africa's meningitis belt, where outbreaks often peak during the dry season. Nigeria recently received over 1 million doses of the pentavalent meningococcal vaccine to combat the ongoing outbreak. The World Health Organization has identified the vaccine as crucial in reducing cases and preventing further spread. Orphans, widows, and vulnerable individuals in southern Kaduna have expressed gratitude to Senator Sunday Marshall Katung for donating 11 million naira and essential food items to ease their hardship. The donation met in honor of the senator's birthday were distributed across key humanitarian centers, including the Rafiki Orphanage, Ekwa Widows Training School, and the Gwayman Center in Jaba local government area. The aid, which include rice, spaghetti, semolina, and noodles, was pressed for alleviating the financial strength faced by low-income in households. The initiative, which also commemorates the senator's mother's birthday, received widespread support from local religious and political leaders who commended Katung for his leadership and commitment to the welfare of his constituents. Senator Katung emphasized his dedications to supporting vulnerable groups, stating it's not just about politics, it's about humanity. Now on the report from Gombe State, the Evangelical Church Winning All Ekwa has concluded its 3-day Men Fellowship International Conference with a strong message to Christians and Nigerians in general, urging them to seek God amidst the nation's challenges. The event brought together men from across the country for spiritual renewal, fellowship, and leadership developments. Some TV correspondent Kamal Hamajo files in the report.
Gone out to the Christian faithful and Nigerians in general to earnestly seek God, who has promised to reveal himself to those who seek him. This charge was made at the just concluded Ekwa Men Fellowship International Conference held in Gombe. The 3-day conference, which brought together delegates from across the country, came to a successful close with a renewed call for faith, unity, and service in the body of Christ. In his closing remark, the president of Ekwa, Reverend Dr. Job Ayuba Baget Malam, expressed gratitude to God for the success of the program.
Obviously, we cannot thank God enough for this wonderful, excellent conference. It is quite joyful to retreat here for the past 3 days in order to be refreshed and the Lord has refreshed us. He has taught us. We have a lot of, text away from this conference back home.
Reading from the Holy Scripture, he urged participants not to be afraid in the face of national challenges, assuring them that God remains their strength. He therefore officially declared the conference closed.
God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Therefore, we will not fear, though the earth give way, and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam, and the mountain quake with their surging. On this note, I want to declare this conference that took off some 3 days ago close.
Speaking earlier with journalists, the ECOWAS General Secretary, Reverend Ayuba Acheche, encouraged Nigerians to submit to the will of God and remain hopeful, assuring that the current hardship and security challenges in the country will soon give way to peace and prosperity.
The topic we dwelled on right from Wednesday to today has been Isaiah 29 from verse 11 up to verse 13. And the central theme that ECOWAS is working with is, you will seek me and you will find me. So that has been the central message that we dwelt so much on throughout the entire period of the conference. We are in a difficult situation. That does not mean that we will stay in this situation permanently. According to the teachings, we have hope because God has plans for us. And looking at the country Nigeria, our tomorrow is looking bright in spite of the disappointment that we are seeing. For now, they are temporary, and by the grace of God, one day, as a country, we shall have a reason to breathe an air of economic freedom, security freedom, and all other things. For the participants in Gombe 2025, you have been taught, you have been warned, you have been challenged, and you have been told the naked truth. Go out there and bear fruit. Let people see the evidence that you have actually been to Gombe 2025.
The conference serves as a platform for spiritual upliftment and brotherhood, aimed at fostering stronger fellowship among ECOWAS men. It also provides an opportunity for leadership training, evangelism, and mutual support among members from different parts of the country. With prayers, worship, and sound teaching, the event further strengthens the church's mission to build godly men equipped for service in their homes, churches, and society. Kamal Hamadu, Sum TV News.
State as Nigerian prepares to mark Police Day on April 7th. The Gombe State Police Command is stepping up efforts to strengthen ties with the community in line with the Inspector General of Police directive. The command has hosted a stakeholders town hall meeting aimed at enhancing security collaborations. Some TV correspondent Kamal Hamajo files in the details.
Preparations for the 2025 Police Day celebration and in line with the directive of the Inspector General of Police, IGP, for police to enhance community engagement, the Gombe State Police Command has organized a town hall meeting with key stakeholders to strengthen police-community relations. Chairman of the occasion, retired Commissioner of Police CP Muhammad Wakili, urged the police to extend such interactions to divisional offices, emphasizing the need for the public to report any misconduct by officers to senior authorities.
I should suggest that the Commissioner of Police should extend send it up to the divisional level, because and there should be a feedback mechanism. The more you interact with the people, the more they understand you, and the more they cooperate with you. But warning to the police, your conduct is what will make people trust you, believe in you. There are different layers or cadre of accountability. So we have a hierarchy. Don't be afraid of reporting any misconduct of a police officer. Don't be afraid of that, because he's doing it on his own. Any police officer that operates outside the law is on his own, and he will carry his own cross. There is no way a senior officer will accept the wrongdoing of a subordinate.
Gombe State Commissioner of Police, CP Bello Yahaya, noted that security is not the sole responsibility of the police alone, but a collective duty of every member of the society.
Today's gathering is a crucial element of the inaugural National Police celebrations. The theme, Community and the Police, fostering deeper public participation for effective service delivery, speaks directly to our mission to strengthen partnership and to ensure more inclusive and people-oriented policing system. The responsibility of securing our nation is not solely that of the police. It is a collective duty that requires active participation from every one of us. So we are here to listen to you today. Therefore, I encourage you to engage in open, sincere, and constructive discussions, as your insights and recommendations will be invaluable in improving our service to the community.
Delivering the keynote address, the Provost of the Federal College of Education, Technical, Professor Ali Adam Boderi, highlighted the importance of collaboration in tackling security challenges.
The effectiveness of policing is not solely determined by law enforcement agencies alone, but is equally influenced by the level of cooperation and trust between the police and the community they serve. A safe and secure society is a collective responsibility, and this partnership is crucial in ensuring a just and law-abiding environment.
The event featured an interactive section, panel discussion, and a question and answer segment, allowing for robust engagement between the police and the public.
How do you assess the level of collaboration between the police and the public in terms of enhancing community policing?
More need to be done. There is need for the Nigerian police to engage more, especially this kind of circular meeting. It has to cascade down to the divisional level, so that all the divisions, all the local governments will be carried along, not only at the state level. Because this meeting, if you look at the participants, it's only the officers from the local governments and also the critical stakeholders from the state. So if there is an opportunity for the division, especially at the local government level, and the bigger communities that we have, the bigger divisions that we have in the state, if they will have the opportunity to go back to their community and do the same thing, so that more people, more stakeholders will be carried along, and also building of trust. There is need for the security agencies, especially the Nigerian police, to bridge the trust between the citizens and the Nigerian police.
Our conduct as police officers, both in our private lives and our official lives, have a very either positive or negative effect in our assignment. For the legal frameworks, I have always maintained that in Nigeria we have very, very good legal frameworks to support whatever we want to do. Our most challenging problem is the implementation of those legal frameworks.
The police stakeholders town hall meeting in Gombe is expected to go a long way in addressing security concerns in the state. If extended to divisional level, it could bring even more positive change. Kamal Hammajo, SOMTV News.
A coalition of the non-governmental organizations under the Association of Women Against Gender-Based Violence recently held a two-day event in Yenagoa, Bayelsa, celebrating influential Nigerian women and their contributions to empowering others. Titled Cheers to Her, a celebration of women empowering women, the event focused on the importance of women's role in national development, advocating for increased skill building and financial independence for women. This includes 18 women-led organizations in Bayelsa, such as the Federations of Muslim Women's Association in Nigeria and the Women Wing of the Christian Association of Nigeria. The celebrations also recognized he for she's, men who have supported the advancement of women, key speakers including awardees and activists like Mrs. Leticia Agbare and Dame Esther Boro emphasized the need for women's empowerment, political participations and leadership role. The event featured poetry performances, training sections on the Land Use Act and renewable energy, and the empowerment of 2,000 vulnerable women with cash gifts and starter pack. Participants also benefited from capacity building programs facilitated by organizations such as Kache Women's Development and Resource Center and Advancing Women in Business. Local vigilantes in Zamfara State have neutralized at least 30 armed bandits during an ambush in the Dansandao district of Maro local government area. The operations occurred on Thursday, April 4th, when members of the Yansakai vigilante group strategically positioned themselves to intercept the bandits, who were heading towards a nearby village. A gun battle ensued, resulting in the death of the suspected attackers. The vigilantes recovered 16 motorcycles reportedly used by the bandits. In a separate incident, security forces found the body of Ashiru Dawa, a community protection guard member who had been abducted by bandits. His body was discovered in the Gidan Kano area, and following an autopsy, it was returned to his family for burial. The incident highlights the ongoing security challenges in the region, where local vigilantes continue to play a crucial role in self-defense against banditry. Authorities are working on initiatives to improve security in the area. Comrade Daniel Ojei, the APC candidate for Benue South Senatorial District, has urged the people of Benue State to unite in the face of rising insecurity and to support Governor Ison Aliya's administration. Ojei, expressing concern over the growing violence, including kidnapping and killing, described the attack as coordinated efforts involving collaborators. He cited disturbing evidence of collusions between herdsmen and some local recalling a recent kidnapping incident where both Fulani herdsmen and Idoma youths were involved. Ojei also pointed to the brutal murder of retired immigration controller Akatu Oche, questioning why he was targeted after advocating for self-defense against insecurity. Ojei cautions against rushing to blame only criminal herdsmen, emphasizing the need to identify and address local collaborators who are enabling these criminal activities. He also highlights the role of poverty in making local miscreant vulnerable to exploitation by criminal elements. In a statement, Oja called for unity among the Idoma people and for vigilance in securing their communities. He commended Governor Aliya for working tirelessly with federal security agencies to combat criminal network and urged Benue residents to support the administration's peace efforts. Oja concluded by stressing that the ongoing security challenges in the state requires collective effort, not decisive politics. Governor Alex Oti of Abia State has condemned the deadly ambush of Chinese miners at a mining site in Uturu, which resulted in the death of 2 miners and a police guard. The attack occurred on Friday evening when gunmen targeted the site, prompting Oti to order security forces identify and apprehend the perpetrators. In a statement released on Sunday, Oti expressed outrage over the unprovoked attack, emphasizing his administration's commitment to ensuring the protection of lives and property. He called the attack an act of terrorism and urged strong condemnations from all those of good conscience. Governor Oti also pledged to strengthen security cooperations with neighboring states to improve the religious security architecture and prevent criminals from crossing state borders. He expressed condolences to the families of the victims, the Nigerian police and the Chinese embassy, offering prayers for the repose of the deceased. Gunmen suspected to be bandits launched a deadly attack in Dandume local government area of Katsina State, killing 6 people and abducting over 50 others. The assailants arrived on motorcycles early in the morning, opening fire indiscriminately, which resulted in the death. At least 56 villagers were kidnapped during the raid. A security source confirmed the attack, stating that reinforcement was being sent to the area. Police spokesperson ASP Abubakar Sadiq Aliyu declined immediate comments when contacted. The police in Niger State arrested 61 criminal suspects during the recent sighting operations in Mina Metropolis. According to the police public relations officer, SP Wasiu Biodum, 19 suspects were apprehended on April 4, 2025 in the Angwan Daji area, while 23 others were arrested on April 3rd for possession of illicit drugs and cannabis at a hotel in Tungwa. Additionally, 13 suspects with dangerous weapons were detained. On April 5th, another operation in Barkin Saleh led to the arrest of 6 individuals with a cutlass and a sharp knife. The arrest followed a rise in Togri and youth unrest in Mina after the Salah celebration. All suspects are under investigations and efforts to monitor criminal hideouts continue. We're taking a brief commercial break. Don't change the channel. We'll be right back with more exciting updates on Sun TV.
Are you a businessman or woman? Do you need loan to grow your business? At Taraba Business Development Center, we offer both business and personal loan with flexible repayment plan. We are located in different parts of Taraba State. Jalingo branch, opposite Civil Service Commission, 183 Amarua Way, 090-3134-4333. Zing branch, Zenith Bank agent beside College of Education, Zing, 070-3125-2551.
Welcome back. We're glad you are still here with us. Coming up next are the international business and sport news. On the international news, thousands of protesters gathered across the United States and in several international cities on Saturday in what organizers describe as the largest single-day demonstration against President Donald Trump since his return to office in January. Over 1,200 protesters were planned nationwide, including rallies in all 50 states, Canada and Mexico. In Washington, D.C., more than 20,000 people converged at the National Mall under the overcast skies, expressing opposition to sweeping government reforms, immigration crackdown, and recent economic policies. Demonstrators carried various signs, including those supporting Ukraine and Palestine, while Democratic lawmakers criticized Trump's agenda. From the state protesters' voice, concern over government job cuts and social program reduction under the Department of Government Efficiency, led by Elon Musk. The recent layoff of over 20,000 IRS workers drew specific backlash at the rallies, including one near the Social Security Administrations in Maryland. Smaller protests also took place in cities like Stanford, Connecticut, and West Palm Beach, Florida, just miles from Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence, where he spent the day golfing in Europe, U.S. The citizens rallied in cities like Berlin, Paris, London in solidarity, while the White House defended its stance, insisting Trump would protect Social Security and health care programs. Demonstrators accused the administrations of pursuing a broader effort to centralize power and dismantle public institutions. Some TV correspondents sent in a video clip. On business news, Deep AI has raised $40 billion to bolster its research into artificial general intelligence, further solidifying its positions in the rapidly evolving AI sector. Since the launch of ChatGPT in November 2022, AI has transformed various facets of human life and operations, despite concern about potential AI takeover. There has been a productive coexistence between human and this technology. The popularity of ChatGPT has highlighted competitions with major tech companies, notably Google, which is striving to enhance its own AI capabilities with its Gemini project. On entertainment news, the Nigerian film industry celebrated a significant milestone with the premiere of Radio Voice, produced by veteran actor Richard Mofe-Damijo, RMD, on April 6, 2025 in Lagos State. The film portrays the life of a charismatic radio presenter navigating the challenges of public life while grappling with personal struggles. Directed by Isioma Assaje, Radio Voice is held as a tribute to the legacy of radio in Nigeria and explores the duality of media influence and self-identity. During the red carpet event, Assaje expressed her pride in leading the project, calling it one of the most meaningful stories she has told. The premiere was hosted by Arijike Dimples, who engaged with celebrities and industry figures in attendance. Guests gave the film a standing ovations, commending its emotional depth and powerful performance. RMD, in a brief address, highlighted the importance of storytelling in preserving Nigerians' heritage, Radio Voice is set to be released in cinemas nationwide on April 11, 2025. On to sport news. Kebbi State has revived its dormant sport tournaments, aiming to enhance the physical and mental well-being of youths, promote economic benefits, and foster social cohesion. Governor Nasir Idris announced this initiative at the final of the Governor's Cup soccer competition, which saw Yauri local government defeat Agunyu local government 2-1, winning trophy and 1 million cash prize. Agugu local government second place and 750,000, while Jiga secured a bronze medal, 500,000. Governor Idris expressed his commitment to supporting sport development in the state, ensuring the competition becomes an annual event. He also pledged improvement to supporting the sport. Solar-powered electricity, motorized boreholes at the stadium, as well as coaster boats for team transportation. He highlighted sport as an important avenue for unity and youth empowerment. The KB Football Association chairman Alhaji Abubakar Sika Laden commended the governor for revitalizing the competition last held 20 years ago. He also requested further stadium upgrades and electricity provision during the event. 100 promising young players were selected for training to enhance their skill with the support of local national coaches. That's all for this edition of News at 9 p.m. from Psalm TV. Before we go, here is a recap of the major headlines. On the national news, Presidency dismisses fake news on INEC chairman's dismissal, confirmed Mahmoud Yakubu remains in office. The Taraba State Ministry of Environment trains community business agencies to combat climate change. Take It Back movement protests nationwide. Despite police warnings, government call for peaceful demonstration. In international news, thousands of protesters across U.S. and international cities demand change, largest demonstrations against Trump since his return to office. In business news, Deep AI has raised $40 billion to bolster its research in artificial general intelligence, further solidifying its positions in the rapidly evolving AI sector. In entertainment news, a movie titled Radio Voice premiere in Lagos celebrates Nigerian radio legacy with emotional reception. In sport news, Kebbi State revives sports tournaments to enhance youth engagement and community cohesion. Stay tuned for more lined up of programs from Psalm TV. You can also follow us on Facebook at Psalm TV and on YouTube at Psalm TV Live. I remain Bridget James.